How do you make the perfect cup of tea?
I don't drink tea. It's terrible. However, I do make my dad's brew, and he wants it incredibly strong. So it has a drop of milk, and you have to put this tea bag in for like 20 minutes. So it's strong enough for him. So that's what everyone wants. There you go.
If you could open a show for any artist, who would it be?
Toronto, any day. I have a man crush on him.
Would you not like go for Alter Bridge just to have the experience of?
No, I'm not good enough for that. Toronto's more my level. He's not. He's well surpassed me, but he's fit. So.
What's the best advice you've been given?
Actually, from my dad when it comes to playing shows. So it's just something as simple as you don't go to listen to a show, you go to watch when it comes to a gig. So to make sure that you are putting on a show every time you play, because it's different to sitting at home listening to music. You go in for the atmosphere and the production, so to make it different for people and actually enjoyable to watch. So it's literally, you go to watch a show and you listen to music.
Nice. What would your bandmates describe? How would your bandmates describe you?
Bitch. Plain and simply, the bitch.
Why is that?
Because I'm a bitch. I whine a lot. I know this. That's about it, really.
What's the funniest thing to happen to you while being in this band?
This is before I even joined. We were in Glasgow, I think. And Dylan, I can't remember what he was doing. I don't even think he annoyed me, and I just ended up flipping his bed, and he went flying. It made us laugh. Dylan was not best pleased.
How long have you been in Glasgow at the time?
Not long.
Not long.
I think we played the gig. I think we got there about 2ish or something like that, and then we checked into the hotel, gone out for food, gone to the gig, come back, and I think it was only half an hour being into the room. And I just flipped his bed onto the guy who drove us car. Yeah.
Do you get nervous before going on stage?
Most of the time. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm at my best. So it is a lot, and I try and outdo myself every time. So it's never nice putting that pressure on myself, so I do get nervous. But I like to think I do with nerves quite well, and I go out and perform afterwards.
Did they start to disappear while you're playing, or does it depend
Usually
on how you're
about a song or two in, and then I start feeling more comfortable being on the stage. Because like I said about the performing and stuff, I put pressure on myself to actually look good, if that makes sense, and actually sound good. So when I go on to the first song, I'm really very nervous until I've started to sell a bit, and then I'm fine afterwards.
When do the nerves start?
Usually when I turn up to the venue, I'd say. Yeah, so depending on what time I get to the venue, it can be quite early on. And then I start to settle, like I said, whilst I'm on stage. But they don't really subside until then.
Are any of your family musicians?
Yeah, a lot of us, to be fair. Obviously my brother is our other guitarist, my cousin's the drummer. My dad's the first person who I ever saw play live, got us into music. My mum can sing, my sister can sing. All my brothers, 3 older brothers, play guitar. It's a family affair.
It really is. What's your favourite sauce?
It's a weird question. Barbecue though, hands down.
Yes.
Thank you. It's got me barbecue.
Barbecue and everything.
Exactly.
Nickelback.
Love them. I know it's a weird question, but I love them. I think people who don't like them are just doing it for the fad.
Absolutely. What's the best venue that you've ever performed at?
It wasn't in this band, unfortunately, and I do want to play there, but it was the Underworld in Camden. I'd heard about the Underworld in Camden when I first got into music, and it was like one of those prestigious underground venues that everyone needs to play if they're going to do well. And honestly, it lived up to its expectations for me, so I can't wait to play there with us a lot.
I want to play there.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
What do you do for work outside of music?
I'm a support worker for vulnerable adults with learning disabilities.
Has that been more difficult in the pandemic?
So far, I've only recently started the past 5 months,
Okay.
and we've not really had any issues. And from what I've heard, there wasn't many issues prior to that, luckily. Everyone's very safe in what they're doing, and the team works well, so it's nice for me. it's settled me in very nicely, and I'm loving the job as it is. So
Stuff. You can choose any band, existing, no longer existing, broken up. You can put them back together, but you're in charge of creating a festival headline. You choose 3 bands. Which ones are they?
ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go a bit off the rails a little bit compared to what I think them 3 would say. And for the headliners for me, I'd go with Cream. So it's Eric Clapton. Obviously, I love Eric Clapton. I'd have Alter Bridge on there any day. Alter Bridge. And then the last day, that's a tough one. I don't know. It'd either have to be Audio Slave, because Chris Cornell is one of my idols, or Pearl Jam, because I love Eddie Vedder. So, can I have both and have 4?
You could have a super band.
There you go, I'll call them Audio Jam.
Yeah. What was your personal experience of recording Strangers?
I did quite a lot. I did, as you'll have seen in the full band interview, I did my parts and I did Sheldon's bass as well as the vocals. I love it though. It was hard work for me getting the vocals perfect. I wanted this song to be the most perfect song I've done yet. Obviously I'd want to strive everything to be perfect, but for me this was just a special song. The guitar, I wanted to be perfect as well. It was a time in the verses that I struggled with a little bit, but managed to get through it. Playing the bass was impossible. I can't do that. I know Sheldon gets me to do it, and I managed to do it, but it hurts. But again, vocals, I wanted to make sure they were perfect, so I was quite stressed doing it, but ended up really enjoying it after I heard the final outcome, luckily.
What mind space are you in when you're performing Strangers and recording it? Do you find yourself like feeling like you did what the song's about?
Luckily, I feel like the meaning of the song instead. So like when I first wrote it, because I wrote this song quite a few years ago now, but never did anything with it until this band formed. Well, the lyrics anyway. And I don't know how to word it properly, so I was quite mentally not great when I first started writing the song, and it sounds a bit cliche, but as I was writing the song, because it took me that long to do it, by the end of the song I'd come out of feeling like that and started to feel a lot better. So the second half is actually true to how I was feeling when I was writing that second half. So the first half is all about feeling also down on myself, thinking I could do things better and what's happened, why have I let myself get like this. And the second half is basically, like the lyrics say, I can rise now, my pain is gone. So after I found out that I'm fine, like I found a way to deal with everything, I built myself back up. So now when I play it, I just remember the second half rather than the first. And I feel kind of euphoric, probably the best way of putting it. Every time I perform it, play and listen to it now as well.
If you could put this into like a bite-sized headline, what's the song about?
Overcoming darkness in yourself and actually feeling better about yourself.
So you can play more than one instrument.
Yeah.
You're the frontman and guitarist of this band. Is that what you like doing, or is there something else you prefer playing?
I love playing guitar and singing. I do love being the frontman of a hard rock band, but I also really enjoy the acoustic. I love being able to sit behind an acoustic and sing more melodic, more emotional songs. It's different playing it in rock as it is to acoustic, because rock can get all of your angst out, everything, whereas an acoustic is kind of like putting yourself on show. So I like that for a different reason, and I also love playing the piano. Singing and playing the piano is a different sensation for me, because as I'm sat there doing it, I don't feel like myself, if that makes any sense. I feel like everything's coming out into the song itself, which is why I love playing the piano. So it's actually a hard one to pick out of the 3, unfortunately, because it's for different reasons I enjoy it.
Fair enough. I feel like when I play violin, and when I do that every now and again,
I've tried violin.
It's a different emotion.
I am horrific.
I'm horrific, and it's weird because I hate the sound of it when it's next to me, but when it's recorded, I'm like, that's beautiful.
It's beautiful, it's not when it's here.
Especially when it goes wrong.
Oh.
Fair enough. Do you find performing songs in general, not just Strangers, a therapy and getting things better? Or are you reliving the experience and maybe feeling guilt instead?
No, it's a relief when I get to play music live. despite the songs or the meanings behind them, just being able to play. Some of our lyrics are very dark, I'll be honest with you. A lot of it stems from me sitting there like a little depressed teenager, writing on my phone or in a book, getting the lyrics down. But then we've got songs like Show Me a Sign, Strangers, Oceans. I forgot my song names, so ignore that. But there's quite a few where it's all about building yourself up. So a lot of my lyrics stem similarly, where you start off down and bring yourself up. Playing it live, I just enjoy the sensation of being actually out and playing. So to me, it's just nice.
Are you the only person that writes lyrics?
I'm the only person who writes lyrics, yeah. When it comes to the music between me and Sheldon, mainly, Aidan writes his little part, Dill writes the drums, but I write all the lyrics.
Do you find that gives you a more consistent message throughout your set list?
Yeah, and it is an easier way for me to feel the song, because it's me singing them, so I understand it might be hard for Aidan sometimes when he's doing his parts, but because I've wrote it down and I'm singing what I've said, I actually get more in touch with the song and I find it easier to write more stemming from that.
Do you find that comes naturally, being able to lock into the meanings and feelings behind your songs live?
Like I said again, live, I know obviously I just said then that I just like being able to play the music, so this is going to contradict myself, but depending on the lyrics as well, when someone, say when we played Oceans and people sing the lyrics back to you, that's a big thing, because they're my lyrics that mean a lot to me. So when someone's singing that back to me, and it's the same with Strangers especially, because of the meaning that, when you're hearing people sing those lyrics to you, it kind of hits you. It does make you very emotional. Obviously we can't show it on stage or anything like that, so it does. But it's such a nice feeling, being able to sing my own lyrics, hearing other people sing them as well.
Cool. That's all I've got.
Sweet.
Dope.